WPF. We're going to be talking about this at Mix. I'm going to go find out about this from somebody who actually knows. Let's see. Who to talk to? Yeah, I think Karsten will know. This guy definitely knows about WPF.
Don't look at my screen yet.
Karsten, how you doing?
Man.
Sorry, I just walked in on you, but that's how I wanted to do this interview.
Right on.
So basically, we're going to be talking about WPF down at Mix in Vegas, and I really want to learn about it. So, you know,
All right.
You're the expert. Let's talk about it for a little while.
That sounds good.
All right. So, who are you?
My name's Karsten Januszewski. I'm a technical evangelist. What else can I tell you?
All right. Well, you're a WPF expert.
I work on WPF. I've been working on it for about 2 years now.
All right.
My main role is to help enable customers that start playing with these bits early. So those on the bleeding edge, I try to prevent the bleeding as much as I can.
Outstanding. So let's talk about it. Tell me a little bit about. Give me just the overview of WPF.
Overview.
Yeah, for me,
Well,
somebody
give me the-
for a numbskull like myself. Tell me, talk to me.
Talk to you.
I don't really know
WPF.
enough about it.
All right. 3 things if you want to, just hold on to it real quick, get it, so you know what it is.
Thank you.
1, it's a new engine for painting pixels to the screen.
Okay.
Okay?
I
So
can
it's an
understand.
engine underneath the covers that is developer designer. You don't even know it's there. It is actually doing the rendering to the screen of pixels. And it's a different engine. It's not. You might have heard of this thing called GDI, GDI Plus.
Yep.
That did a lot of painting. You might have heard of DirectX. This is a different engine. Okay. So it's a powerful engine too. It's hardware accelerated. Uses a graphics card. It's aware of different form factors, different types of monitors, and it does all kinds of powerful composition and rendering, of any kind of UI you can imagine. And you're like video, 3D, 2D, animation, text.
Very cool.
That's 1. 2, it's a framework. So what's the use of an engine if you don't have a framework to use to harness the power of the engine? And the framework is, we've been working hard on it. Microsoft's been working hard on it, so it's really made for developers to write, to write apps and do it in an intuitive way. But it's also designed for designers who've kind of been left out of the equation often. So we're really designing this platform so that designers, folks that typically are, they aren't writing code, right?
Yeah.
They're thinking about UI. That they can take advantage of this, the power of this platform.
Excellent.
And the third thing is that it's not just in isolation. So this all this UI engine and framework, it isn't just some separate Microsoft thing that's disconnected from the rest of our story. Mm-hmm. It's part of the .NET framework. All the .NET frameworks available to you, all the other goodness in WinFX, like Windows Communication Foundation and all that stuff. So it's a whole story.
Excellent. True story.
It's
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what excites you the most about WPF?
The thing, now that I've been working with a lot of companies who've been building prototypes, and I've watched what the community's been doing, the thing that excites me is that there really there aren't the limits you used to have with other UI technologies, where you thought, I'd really like to do X, but you just couldn't do it, whether the technology didn't support it or you just knew it would be so difficult or take such expertise to code. It just wouldn't happen. And WPF, it's like if you can think it up, you can probably pull it off.
Nice.
And people are doing some really, really neat things with the platform.
Outstanding. And we'll see a lot of that down there at Mix.
That's right. So
Cool.
Charles and I will both be there, right?
In the
out.
sandbox.
In the sandbox.
You know it.
So I'll be there the whole time. And more interestingly than me, a lot of the companies I work with will be there also showing some of their latest prototypes, showing their work, even giving sessions on what they've done.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's check some of the stuff out, huh?
All right, let's check out some demos.
All right.
What do you know? right here is actual Vista. So this is the February CTP of Vista, and see, here's a command line that I was just using. So the command line isn't gone away or anything. I still was doing some sort of searching the file system using the command line.
Very good.
I don't know,
Maybe there's a way to do it.
better way to do it in Vista, maybe, but do what works. Yeah, well, let's see, what do we got here? This is a good one. Not everybody's seen this demo. I don't think you guys have had this on Channel 9, but it does a great job of showing the power of this platform and how all UI technologies are kind of at this common denominator. It's called 15 Puzzle. It was written by an architect on the Avalon team, or WPF team, named Greg Schechter. So the idea is it's a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
So like I can mix up these things, and these are just buttons. And I can try and figure out how to get the one, back into place.
Sure.
Right. Not too impressive. You could probably do this, Charles. You could probably code that up, right?
Easily.
And a little JavaScript.
Sure.
JavaScript,
JavaScript, images, handle some simple events, move things
Exactly.
around using CSS. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. So let's take this up a notch. This guy, here's a static bitmap, right?
Very cool.
You could probably, if you really tried hard, I bet you could code this. Use some like WinForms, GDI,
So,
image hacking.
Definitely a little more complex.
It'd be a little gnarly, but you could do it. But now let's take some static vector content. So here you got Avalon has a whole vector engine underneath it.
Well, let's talk about this. What's so important about vectors?
Well, vectors are pretty interesting things. Today in Windows, with GDI and GDI Plus, what you have primarily is just rasterized bitmaps. That's what gets rendered by the engine. And the way Avalon works is it uses all vector math for rendering its content. So what that means is these are all mathematically have a mathematical representation, which means you can do all kinds of interesting scaling and transforms, and you can get sort of the you aren't just dealing with these bitmaps, but you're dealing with actual vectors.
Okay.
There you go.
Fair enough. So you can zoom in and zoom out and not lose
Exactly.
the quality which you would in a rasterized bitmap.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And they're all together. So in this, you can see here there's a bitmap back there, but we've got this vector ellipse over it with an opacity mask, and then there's some vector art back there. And again, this isn't the most impressive example of vectors. In fact, maybe we could look at a more impressive example in a second. Okay. But the point of this is here's some vector content. So let's mix that guy up, and it's the same underlying power. The power of this thing called the visual brush, an Avalon that just knows how to take a surface and manipulate it. In fact, we can take that vector content, and it's kind of a hokey animation, but animation's totally part of the platform. So let's mix up this animated,
Very
not so
cool.
clean on the eyes, but
the fact is that you
Makes
split
the
it
point.
up and it synchronizes the animation in different positions. That's really
still
awesome.
the timing engine's kicking and everything. The one that I like is the video. So everyone likes video, right?
Totally.
Video's first-class citizen, and
Now you're going to split this one up too?
let's do it, man. Shall we?
Yeah.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a HD quality video.
Dude, that is incredibly cool.
So killer codec. Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
And we got some other ones in here. There's documents. So documents are super important in Avalon. We've got a lot of work going on there with subpixel clear type and a lot of typography innovation. Same deal though, it's just a visual brush. And here's a form, slider, list box, text box, button. Same deal.
Okay.
Because these buttons, and they're just made up of different vector primitives. Here's a 3D, some 3D content.
Nice.
So this is true 3D, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And now all of this, I like this part of this. is we can go like this. This is the same technique being used by Vista itself to do kind of the Alt-Tab. So here's the old. Well, this is also a different kind of view of Alt-Tab, but notice here that we're still getting this nice recursive thing here, right? So we're using the visual brush with an Avalon, and then the OS itself is using that same technique to give us a preview of each of our screens.
Very, very cool.
I've actually find myself using this a lot now, because I'm an Alt-Tab addict. But now with this new view, the Rolodex view, I find myself. It's a Vista feature I'm really falling in love with.
Hi, my name is Karsten, and I'm an Alt-Tab addict. Hi, Karsten.
Charles, we've been talking about doing this for so long.
I know. I can't believe we haven't had you on. I mean, you're right down the hall.
know,
this
totally.
is ridiculous, man.
All right.
All right.
Should we show another demo?
Of course. What else do you have? How about that demo where I think I've seen it, but I might not have. I know I've seen a demo where you take animations and like you fold them over spheres and other objects.
Oh,
do you have something like that?
Yeah, this is a cool demo. So one of the things that's great about Avalon is it has a true 3D engine. So by this 3D engine, we're talking all the things you expect from a 3D engine as far as meshes and world space and model space and lights and cameras and all of that goodness. Avalon has an engine that supports all that.
Okay.
So this is a demo. It's a great guy, David Teitelbaum. We should do an interview with him sometime.
All right.
He's PM, but he's also a 3D, kind of guru guy. So he wrote this demo. You got to watch. Get the camera trained here. So
It's trained.
whoa.
Wow. Whoa.
So I paused it for a second. So you can see we got this kind of trackball view here. Let's get it going again. So what he's doing here is some nice mesh deformation on this tessellated plane, basically. So this is just a tessellated plane that he's then, just doing a mesh deformation programmatically. And when I press the space bar, he's putting some physics effects on there.
Nice.
And the plane itself has been has a material on it that's an actual Avalon visual brush, once again. So it's taken some Avalon text content and used that as the material on, and notice it's opaque, sort of some see-through down there.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So it's
So smooth, too. Is there any DirectX going on here? Is that how he did the mesh work?
This is all Avalon.
Okay.
This is all.
So Avalon's not working with DirectX under the covers?
Well, whoa.
Nice.
It totally freaks out if you do that. So.
Very cool.
Well, so DirectX is deep under the covers.
Okay.
So in the sense that DirectX isn't there for. In the sense that you can program against it within Avalon, but the Avalon engine ultimately sends everything through the D3D pipe, the direct 3D pipe.
Okay.
Which is kind of funky to think about, because even the 2D content, even text, it's all using the power of that D3D pipeline to render itself, as well as the 3D. But that's kind of low level.
So, but if you want to actually just, go outside of Avalon and get down hardcore into DirectX, you can. There's an API you could probably download and use. They have a managed version of DirectX, right?
Yeah, there's DirectX and then there's managed DirectX, and that's not going away, and it's great stuff, and you can write killer games with it. But the thing
you can't do it in XML. Or
you can't use XAML.
So you got any XAML? Let's write some XAML, Karsten.
All right. Let's see. I want to see if I have one demo in here, just because I like this demo also. Yeah. I haven't even unpacked it. You're totally getting on the fly here, Charles.
This is perfect. This is
what Channel
real.
9 is? All right.
Karsten was not prepared for this, which is great. Because he's, So what are you doing here?
All right, I just unzipped this thing here. So these are XAML files, actually.
Okay.
So these are, you can see it calls Windows Markup. Now, we should be able to click on this guy. This is going to fire up IE,
Okay.
and use the XAML viewer within Internet Explorer to show this. And these are actually were created by another guy right down the hall from you, Mike Swanson, who wrote the Adobe Illustrator plugin.
Okay.
And what he's done is he took the Adobe Illustrator sample files and then used his exporter to export that vector content into XAML.
Nice.
So you can see, you get some really. Let me open up another one. Here, this one's kind of pretty. This is all. None of that is not a bitmap. That is all vector content right there, all being rendered with XAML.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, here, if you don't believe me, here we can right-click and edit. This is all just. You would never write this, right? Mm-hmm. This is what you would. Here. This is all generated by a tool, but it's all XAML.
But the cool thing about it is it can be used in any application.
That's right. So your designer stays in this tool, creates this beautiful UI, and then just hands that over to the developer. There's no lossiness. There's no developer saying, "How the heck am I gonna, build this as my UI?" It's just literally that is your UI.
Okay.
And there's existing tools that we're hoping, XAML will support, like Adobe Illustrator or the 3D tools like 3D Studio Max or Maya. Then we're writing a bunch of tools as well. Expression. If you haven't, you guys had Manuel.
Totally.
Showing Sparkle. Have you had anyone showing the graphic designer?
Not yet.
Yeah, you got to get that on because that is a kind of a vector art program like that could create this type of thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Should we go bother Craig Jarvis and
let's
do
go.
the North Face thing?
Let's see. I don't know if he's around, but let's go see.
All right.
It's always fun to get a cameo with good old Jarvis.
Let's see.
Is he around?
No, he's not in here.
Ah, well, this is where he usually is.
Okay, hold on here.
Sure.
Let me fire this guy up.
So talk to us about what we're going to watch.
You're going to see... so if you remember back at PDC, we showed... I'm
going to come around this way because it's a beautiful day, but I wanted to make sure that we get you... There we go.
Oh, okay. PDC, we had up during the keynote for Gemalchin, North Face, showing off a prototype built by a company called Fluid. And we showed that at the keynote, and they continue to work on this, actually. So I wanted to show you kind of the next version or some new features within that. So I know we already had the keynote up on Channel 9, and there was a white paper about how we built this, but I want to show you the latest.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, this will be great.
So the idea here is this is an app, and the idea is a kiosk. So you've got, you're in a store, you're in a North Face store, you're about to spend a lot of money on some jacket or some product, and you want more information about it. So first thing is, here we are actually using the touchscreen monitor.
Those are all videos playing on surfaces.
All on 3D surfaces.
Nice.
Animating. So the idea is, okay, I can explore one of these guys.
Nice.
And the idea is these products I might be seeing in the video as I watch the video. So I can check out these different products, get a little more information.
Wow.
And see the product details on one. This is pretty slick. I want to get a better view on this guy.
Nice.
Yeah. Still got the videos playing over there in the background. You've got some more information here, and now they added this screen, which we didn't have at PDC, which is comparing similar products. So. Which jacket is the right one for me? Oh, let me. What does that shoulder look like? What's that back of that jacket look like?
Very cool.
And I think there's the barcode scanning works too. So the other idea is while you're at the store, you should be able to just, I don't know what Craig did with it.
That's cool.
You should be able to just grab a hang tag and,
Oops. And scan it, and the information shows up.
yeah, you just scan your product and something
Very
shows
cool.
up. So that works. We just don't have a hang tag to scan it.
Bummer.
So what I like about this app is, it's like,
Besides that, it's incredibly cool.
besides that it's incredibly cool, is that it's putting all this power to use, video, 3D, animation, all these beautiful images. So it comes
Now let me
together.
ask you this: could that run in a web page? So hosting XAML in a web page, like we can do now, would that be able to run something like that? So like you could have. Bill was talking about in the interview we did with him recently, how it would be really cool to have sort of like a 3D virtual library where you could go and walk down a hall, or stroll down a hall and touch a book, and then it would come up and videos would play and whatever. Is that something that could be done?
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from running this in a browser. There's right there. The one thing is the getting the videos streaming down. Depending on the quality of the video. So that's the one thing where they have so many assets, so many just great assets. That's why they're designing this for a kiosk. But their vision is, why couldn't this be on a web page someday when there's much more ubiquitous, high-speed
Internet
connection, and just video is just not even an issue to add that much type of high-quality,
Very cool.
really high-quality video.
I could also see a use for it in sort of the future of television, right? With MCE, stuff like that.
It's all blurring together.
Very cool. You could shop on Amazon from your TV, your cool 3D environment.
There you go.
Very cool. Well, hey, Karsten, as always, cool talking to you.
All right, Charles.
And we'll see you in the Sandbox in Vegas in March.
Sounds good.
Awesome, buddy. See ya.